you imagine yourself for a moment as a male chick born into the egg industry? You know nothing of the horror that we inflict on your brothers and sisters, nothing of the terror that we'll inflict on you in just a few moments. And you hatch into this world confused. You feel yourself moving. You're on a conveyor belt. You're moving from belt to belt to belt. You look up and you make eye contact with a pair of apathetic eyes looking back at you. And the last thing you see are those eyes as you fall backwards into a metal chute to your death. And that was your life. You're a pile of flesh and feathers, and this is how the egg industry regards you. But the thing is, all of you probably already know this. Give me a hands up if you already knew this. Exactly. The thing is, though, the vast majority of the public does not know this. So it's our duty as effective animal advocates to get out there and tell the people what's going on. Because I believe that the issue is not apathy, the issue is ignorance. So it's as simple as getting the message to the general public. Social media is essentially the new frontier for animal rights. It provides an opportunity to speak up for the animals in a whole new way. We're connected with thousands, millions, billions of people thousands of miles away. So the impact that we have is just absolutely massive using this new frontier. Now when it comes to the impact that social media can have, there are often two schools of people. People who view it as a holy grail and the final piece of the puzzle to achieve total animal liberation, and then those who view it as something that only fools would waste time on. I'm here to tell you, it's probably somewhere in the middle. Anticlimactic, I know, but I think it's important to note that we need to have boots on the ground. Boots on the ground showing that the animals are a cause worth fighting for. A cause worth getting in the streets and on college campuses, just like Vegan Arch does all over North America and beyond on a regular basis. But the thing is, when your boots aren't on the ground, social media provides an excellent opportunity for us to speak up for the animals in this brand new way. So my name is John Oberg. I work for a fantastic group called Vegan Outreach. VO fans, can I get a what? We've been around for about 20 years. I've been involved with VO for the last 6, employed for the last 3, and for the last year and a half, I've been running our social media. Like many good animal protection groups, we had a presence on social media, and it was good, but I'd say it wasn't optimal. I'd say we weren't reaching our full potential. So when I took over our social media, I decided we needed a shift in strategy. So we decided to broaden our appeal a bit. And instead of focusing on just like-minded vegetarians and vegans, we wanted to reach a general public. Because it's the general public, the meat-eating public, who can make an immediate change that can help animals immediately. So we shifted strategy, and I'm happy to say that 18 months ago we had 40,000 followers on Facebook. Today we have 275,000 followers. So I'd like to give those who run social media for various pages and groups just a few tips and examples of our experience of what's worked. And I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty details, but if you wanted to discuss the nitty-gritty details, I'd be happy to. Over Skype or something, just find me afterward. I'd be happy to set that up. And my main focus is going to be on Facebook and Instagram, and to a lesser extent, Twitter and Tumblr. But this can be applied to most platforms. And also, if you don't run pages for various groups, a lot of this information can be applied to your personal pages as well. Now, there are basically this is a graph of when we changed strategy in early 2014. We've just increased our likes on Facebook pretty dramatically, and this has happened because of the change in strategy, which I'll kind of get to in a minute. Now, there are basically a few golden rules to remember when it comes to utilizing social media to the best of our ability. One of those rules, in my opinion, is balance. Having a variety of different types of posts that you're posting on a regular basis. They can basically be summed up into a few different categories, so I'm going to discuss some of the categories that these can kind of be lumped into. One of them, like bait. People love dogs. People love farm animals. People love dogs rolling around with farm animals. This is a post that we did. It did pretty well. Got 10,000 likes. A couple hundred, 3 million people saw this. Another example of like bait would be a pig trying to climb into a dog's water bowl who thinks it's a bathtub. This post went pretty viral for us. Got like 60,000 likes, 50,000 shares. Over 7 million unique impressions. And the importance of like viral images like this is you're going to get a lot of new followers as a result of viral content, and also your name gets out there. So we only have like 250,000 followers on Facebook, but 7 million people saw this. So 90-something% of people who saw this don't even like VO and may not even be familiar with veganism. So we're getting the name out there, and also because of our unique name with the V word in there, many people are seeing that word who may not have thought of that word that day, that month, that year. So we're reaching massive amounts of people at very, very minimal cost to us. Another category, vegan food porn. A lot of people think, a lot of meat eaters think vegans don't even like food. I think we all know that's very much false. Vegans love pizza, they love macaroni and cheese, and apparently they love macaroni and cheese on pizza. Big shout out to Brian P. in the audience. Is he here? Yeah, there he is. For hooking me up with this photo when he went to Demos in Chicago. We got a lot of hate for this because apparently it looks gross. But I think it looks beautiful. I'm salivating, which makes it difficult to talk. Another category, activism empowerment. Now, I think that it's really important to remind our outreach coordinators and our volunteers of the importance of the work that they're doing. So we post things like this on a periodic basis. And the thing is, we understand these kinds of posts are going to get a smaller amount of engagement, but that's factored into the equation. So even though a smaller amount of people are going to see this or engage with it, we're actually going to get a lot of volunteers as a result. So it's worth it to sprinkle these in periodically. Vegan humor. I don't think anything says vegan humor like 2 carrots coming out of the ground hugging each other. So this is a post that was pretty successful. And again, I got to stress that posting these types of things, very minimal investment on our behalf, but it pays huge dividends. Another category, quoted memes. John Camp, are you here? Oh, that's So I think that quotes provide a certain level of inspiration and also a certain level of leadership. And this quote is from VO's Executive Vice President, John Camp. And this is a pretty successful post for us. And it's a quote that many people can resonate with. And we found it to be pretty successful. And most importantly, factory farming cruelty. Now it's cliche to say this, but the animals on factory farms don't have a voice of their own. But you and I, we do have a voice. So by sharing these kinds of images on a periodical basis, we are able to reach a lot of people with thoughts that they may have never thought of before. Another golden rule is simplicity. Simple, simple, simple. Now I'm not saying that people on social media are simple-minded. Definitely not saying that. But what I will say is that active users on social media have a short attention span. Who's guilty of that? Yeah, me too. So as much as I want to write a 500-word essay on why everybody should go vegan, that's not going to work in social media. So it's about adopting things that we think about and putting them into social media, or things that are going to get good engagement on social media. So sometimes it's not about having a post that's going to get somebody to go vegan overnight. Sometimes it's about chiseling away the walls that society's put up. So doing something as simple as this, where we're showing that pigs and dogs are on the same level of intellectual ability, that's chipping away. So it's not always about the end goal, sometimes it's about the little goals along the way. Creativity. Creativity wins on social media. This is an image that the artist sent this to us. We loved it, so we posted it. And I think it's something that resonates with a lot of people. It's basically a diagram of the amount of space of an iPad. and the amount of space that an egg-laying hen has in a battery cage. And I think that this is something that a lot of people don't think about, but it's a creative way of getting our message across. And it's another one of my favorites here is a hippo that is eating some cabbage and lettuce. And clearly hippos do not have a problem with getting enough protein. So I thought it was kind of creative, funny tagline. Hey bro, I'm an herbivore. I get enough protein. Please stop asking. And it did pretty well. It got like tens of thousands of likes and shares. And so this kind of content generates a lot of engagement with our audience. And also, when it comes to creativity, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. There are great groups out there like Vegan Sidekick, Vegan Street. This is a great meme from Vegan Sidekick about how protein takes up your time as a vegan. Clearly, none of us here are protein deficient, but I think we're probably all deficient in patience for being asked about protein. So you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Another thing that I think is important is having a personal goal in mind every day for how you can gauge your level of success in social media. So for our personal goal, and this has increased over time, and now that we're at where we are at, we have a goal of at least a minimum of 1,000 likes per post on Facebook, with an ideal target of 10,000 likes per post. We want to hit about 1,500 shares overall throughout all the posts for the day. And on Instagram, we'd like to hit about 1,000 likes per post, gain about 1,000 new followers every week, I'm sorry. And back to Facebook, we have a goal of getting about 500 new followers per day. And we've been hitting or exceeding this target almost every single day for the 18 months. And like I said before, we went from like 40,000 followers to 275,000 followers in 18 months. So the ability to get there is huge. And I'm really happy to say, I just did the math, and I think in the last 18 months, we've had about 300 million unique hits just from our Facebook posts alone. And I think that what's really important to mention here is that this didn't come from a large influx of money or time or resources. It just simply came from an adoption of strategies that worked and dropping of strategies that didn't work. So we experimented, we found what worked for us, and that's what we did. Now, just like with leafletting, food giveaways, and other forms of grassroots outreach, it's a numbers game. There are always going to be haters, trolls, those who unlike your page, those who falsely report your page for spam. But it's not about them. Just like when you're out there doing this grassroots outreach, you're going to come across people who close their mind off to your message. But don't focus on them. Focus on the large number of people that you can reach that are going to make a huge impact. Because it's just massive, the amount of reach you can have at virtually no cost. And anybody can do this. It's free. So social media is free. The opportunity is there. Finally, it's about taking risks and sometimes doing the dirty work of speaking up for the animals who cannot speak for themselves. And animals need us to be effective. So we need to expose the truth. We need to expose the cruelty that's going on behind the closed doors of factory farms and slaughterhouses around the world. The animals don't have a lot going for them, but they have you and I, all of our abilities to be as effective as we can and use every tool in the tool shed that we have. So by utilizing social media to the best of our ability, we are giving the animals a voice. We are making a difference. Thank you.